Hi. In case you're joining us now, I'm Reverend G, minister at the Unitarian Universalist Community Church on Shaver Road in Portage. That's where our physical building is. And we are, of course, meeting via Zoom still because of this whole entire COVID situation. And we keep our fingers crossed and we hope that soon we'll be able to come back together in person as well. And as soon as that happens, we will happy to let you know. Allow me to start with a quote by H.G. Wenzel, and he's just a Unitarian Universalist layperson. This is what they say. Keepers of the dream will come again and again. From what humble places we do not know, to struggle against the crushing odds, leaving behind no worldly kingdom, but only a gleam in the dark hills to show how high we may climb. Already there have been many such heroes, women and men whose name we do not know, but whose words and deeds still light the path for us. So I want today's message to be very positive. I want it to be very uplifting because we have so many reasons to celebrate and to feel hopeful for the future. It's also true that we have concerns as well, that there are things that look bleak, perhaps scary, but the dreamers are among us and the doers are among us. And on Thursdays, and those of you who are here with us on online, maybe if you just join in on Sundays, or if you watch our services online and you've never been with us in person, perhaps you feel like, oh, I don't belong. Maybe I shouldn't attend other gatherings that these people have via Zoom. But you should. You should. We would love for you to come. Thursday evenings, for instance, once a month, we have a special guest whom we invite. For the entire year, we chose a theme, and that is revolution. And then for each month, we have sub themes. For May, and happy May, it's the 1st of May, now when I'm recording this talk, is sustainability. And each month, we invite a guest who has excelled in some ways in the area that we are exploring that particular month. So this past Thursday, in fact, and it's always at 7 o'clock, and it's on our website when we meet, and we can give you the Zoom sign in and come, because these are interesting conversations that we want the whole world to enjoy and be part of. So we had a fantastic person from Detroit who has been involved all her life in social justice work, and she's accomplished much. So throughout the decades that she's been doing this work, there have been times when it was a struggle, but also there are the rewards. And I want us to focus on the rewards. I want us to focus on the results, on the positive results, because I tell you why. Those of us especially, and Unitarian Universalists can fall in this category. We really are in tune with society. We pay attention, and then we see the shortcomings. We see the areas where there's so much suffering and so much work that needs to be done that we forget to look at the work that has been done. And then when we only focus on the work that still needs to be done, then we get discouraged. That how is it possible that we've worked so long, so hard, and yet the work ahead of us is still so big? But truth be told, if we keep the full picture, our eyes on the full picture, then we see the results as well. So today, more people die of diabetes than war. Um, Old age will kill more people than infectious diseases. These are all incredible accomplishments. You know, a few hundred, not even a few. There was a Second World War, which was just just not even 100 years ago. We couldn't take it for granted that Germany would not attack France and Poland and the Czech Republic and so on and so forth. We couldn't take that for granted. We could look at peace as a time when there was no war. Today, peace is that time that we just pretty much take for granted. It wouldn't occur to us today that we would open a newspaper or turn on the TV, and in there it would be that Germany or France attacked Germany. We just don't think about that. We have seen this about Russia, who attacked Ukraine and is still attacking Ukraine. But in the Western world, the Western civilization, in this hemisphere, it doesn't happen anymore. This is an incredible accomplishment, especially considering that today we possess a nuclear arsenal. So if there was an arms race, humanity would probably destroy itself as well as every other form of life um, on this planet. So more people die in car accidents a year on this planet than they die in terrorist attacks. Now, of course, we hear more about the terrorist attacks than about the car accidents, and therefore we think that there are all these terrorist attacks. It's also true that these terrorist attacks are more or less confined to the Middle East. Not that it's good. It's not good. It's bad. It's the work that still needs to be done. But what I'm saying is that there's been progress. And the reason we hear more about the terrorist attacks than the car accidents, which are also terrible, is because the terrorists really know how to grab our attention. They know how to package their activity in a way that grabs our attention, and then we tend to talk about it for a long time. So we've improved life expectancy. Fact is that the level of comfort that we live in today is unprecedented. There was no time before us when humanity lived in such level of comfort, indoor plumbing, these comfortable homes, heating, cooling, electricity. We've also made progress. Look, I am gay and I'm married to my wife. So that is a huge thing, that we have overcome even that obstacle, at least in this country, where gay marriage now is legal. That there are those who say that being gay is unnatural, and in spite of those voices, we've still made it legal. By the way, everything that shows up in nature is natural. So to say that gay is unnatural just blows my mind. Everything that shows up in nature is natural. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be possible. Nature would not allow it if it was unnatural. But that's I'm sidetracking here. So a lot of progress has been made there as well. Now, of course, there is the racial struggle, and it's real, and our black brothers and sisters keep dying at the hands of the police. It's a horrible thing. And we had recently a verdict where a policeman was found guilty in the murder of George Floyd. And that is unprecedented. And I know that there are those who say, but it doesn't really count. And why should we be grateful that this happened? Because this is the depth of hole that we are digging out of. The reality is that we are so far behind with these rights that having a conviction for a police officer is a big deal. And maybe tomorrow, a year from now, 2 years from now, it will be taken for granted. But today it's a big deal. And I look forward to the day that if it should ever happen that a police person kills anyone, shoots anyone, they will get convicted of murder. Unarmed, you understand? If they kill anybody unarmed, and like they did George Floyd. So there's that too. And I want us to acknowledge this as a positive change, because if we don't, we get discouraged, and also we may end up thinking that humanity is broken at the core and it's incapable of doing the right thing. Now, naturally, we must never underestimate the stupidity of human beings. We so often, time and again, make decisions that just do not serve us. That is also true. But progress has been made. And I am not listing the progress that has been made to encourage complacency. Quite the contrary. It is to remind us if progress was possible yesterday, it is definitely possible tomorrow. So the work, the effort is worth it. We must keep at it because progress is possible. It happened then, it can and it will happen now as well and in the future. Women have rights today. Of course, our pay is still not the same, but we're working on it. We do have the vote. African Americans can vote. That is progress. There's a lot of racial injustice. It's very true. It is very real. The way we've treated the indigenous people, the Native Americans, no excuses here. Absolutely no excuses. By golly, certainly no excuses as far as the animal kingdom is concerned. How we treat our domesticated animals, it is despicable, it is horrible, and we have to atone for that, and we definitely have to change it. It's time. It's time to stop doing the barbaric treatment to which we expose our domesticated animals. That has to stop. And we are called to make it stop. It is upon us. It's up to us. And how do we go about it? And we have to do it in community. Because the reason human beings are so successful and have been so successful in creating this life is because we know how to cooperate. Chimpanzees don't know how to do that. Dogs don't know how to do that. We know how to cooperate in large numbers, and therefore we can make significant and important change possible. So today, I want to talk about sustainability and morality. And I think of morality as that which does not cause suffering. Moral is that which does not cause suffering. It is also moral to stop that which causes suffering. So therefore, immoral is that which inflicts suffering. If you or anyone curtails the rights of another being and therefore causes suffering in that other human being, that is immoral. This is how I'm referring to when I'm speaking of morality. That which does not cause suffering, or that which stops that which causes suffering. And sustainability. Obviously, We want to create a world that is sustainable. That, I mean, we've had a life on this planet. Our ancestors had a life on this planet. What about our offsprings? Do they have a chance? If on this planet everybody would live at the comfort level that an American citizen lives at, we would need 4.5 to 5 planets. Well, we don't even have an entire whole planet left. So we must make very significant changes if we are serious about our offsprings having a chance on this planet. Because although there are those extremely wealthy people in this on our planet who believe that they will just go on and live on Mars, for most of us that is not a possibility, and I'm not even sure it is for them. So there's no planet B or planet Mars or planet Pluto or whatever. They say Pluto's not a planet. Well, anyway, sustainability and morality. So I believe that in order to create sustainability, we must practice morality. Morality in the sense that we stop that which causes suffering or do that which does not cause suffering. In other words, we need to deal with inequality. We need to deal with racism. We need to deal with homophobia. We've got to stop discriminating our transgender brother and sisters. We need to create a life where life is possible with dignity and without suffering for all beings, all sentient beings. That is where our work is. And I know that it is possible because we've made tremendous progress in the past. We've created peace, we've created wealth, we've created prosperity, we've created comfort, and we've created some good circumstances. And we can do more. That is possible. And that is where our work lies. And the hope comes from looking at the past that, oh, we were able to do it then. We can do it again now. And we are facing some times that humanity has never faced before. 100 years ago, 50 years ago, you could advise your child, even 20 years ago, I think this is a good profession for you to go in. What is the question that we always ask children? So what are you going to be when you grow up? And that question is no longer a good question. Because this is the first time in the history of our humanity when we cannot predict at all what our world will look like 20 years from now. With artificial intelligence taking hold and entering our lives, we just don't know. It is quite possible that when our kids go to college, whatever they learned in year 1 will be obsolete in year 3 or 4. We don't know how to advise our youth anymore. So what is sustainable then? Because that is scary that we don't know. So we know for sure that they have to build the resilience and the creativity to reinvent themselves. And that is tiring and scary and difficult because technology is advancing a lot faster than we humans can catch up to it. So instead of asking our children, what are you going to be when you grow up? The right question, I believe, now is, are you willing to be a lifelong learner? Are you willing to be a lifelong learner? Because you will have to reinvent yourself probably every 10 years or maybe even more often. And it's not easy. I've reinvented myself a couple of times in this lifetime, and it never was easy. And it took a toll, and it made me just a little bit more tired, and it's difficult. So I think, therefore, that it is going to be, for sustainability's sake, it is going to be extremely important that we teach our children emotional intelligence. And speaking of that, at our church we have a program just for that, where we facilitate and foster emotional intelligence, and there's information about that on our website, or you can email us, you can text us on Facebook, reach us. There's many ways you can call us, and we will be happy to share information with you about that. And I believe that for us to create this sustainable world, we will have to focus on emotional intelligence, because that is the one part that no AI, artificial intelligence, can replicate. That is something that is truly organic, truly human. The world is changing around us. There will be many displaced people, and we have to prepare for that now. There will be people displaced by AI, artificial intelligence, truck drivers, bus drivers, taxi drivers, probably even physicians, because there will be apps that we will be able to access right away, put in our symptoms, and probably these apps will also have some biometric gadgets that we can attach to our bodies, and they will be able to diagnose us faster, possibly quite better than a human being. Much is going to change in our future, and therefore we have to prepare for that now. We have to put our heads together and talk and plan for it, and make sure that the artificial intelligence that is coming, it's already here, but it's coming. It is going to be used for good and not for sinister reasons. That instead of curtailing our freedoms, it will give us more freedom. That instead of curtailing our options, it will create for us more options, more possibilities. That we use it for the positive and not to destroy us. Sustainability. For that, we must address inequality. This inequality that is part of our life and social fabric today is not sustainable. It is not sustainable. Once I heard a millionaire whose name, I see his face, but I don't know his name. I don't remember his name. He said, inequality must be dealt with, and I'm for it, even though I'm a millionaire. So I profited a lot, but I am vested in working on equality because I'm afraid, I'm scared of pitchfork politics. In other words, in the past, when the peasants would take their pitchfork and go revolt against the nobility, against the rich. So pitchforks, of course, today would look very different, but it would be the same dynamics. Inequality must be addressed for the sake of sustainability, for living a life where we can feel morally well-rounded and well-grounded, that we create a life that eliminates suffering, a life that eliminates suffering. that we create a new life that is void of suffering. Machines don't suffer. People do. Animals do. Machines don't. Nations don't. Countries don't. Continents don't. But people do. Animals do. And we must pay attention to that. Much progress has been done in the past, and much progress is needed, and it is possible. I want you to feel encouraged today. I want you to feel inspired today that you are capable of making positive change in this world, and join a group so we may encourage each other. When one is down, the other one is up, and we can pick each other up. And then we take turns. Sometimes this is down, sometimes that one's up, but we can carry each other. And most importantly, we can carry on the good work towards a moral and morally sustainable life for all livings, for all living things, people, animal, the planet. So we may curtail global warming so that we can leave our offsprings a possibility for life, a possibility for abundance, a possibility for them to create and carve the future as it is right for them on a planet that works for all. So that is my vision. That is my hope for all of us. And it is my wish that today we go away inspired, that we go away knowing that just like the many who came before us, we might be that stepping stones for the many who come after us. And perhaps, in a small way, in a large way, but in our way, we get to contribute. So someone, someday, may feel gratitude for that choice of ours. And so it is.